Hey y'all, it's your girl Miss Skiddo Fix Up Globe. It is definitely a movement. It is a ministry. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Everyday Conversations with a few minutes of motivation. I won't be before you guys too long because I'm kind of in a time crunch. But I just wanted to jump on here really quick and talk to you guys about relationship balance. Check your relational balance. Before I get into the meat of my conversation, I want you guys to do me a favor. Can you all please subscribe, subscribe? Tell your friends, tell your family members, tell your co-workers, um, anybody, acquaintances, anybody that you know that can benefit from the things that everyday conversations with a few minutes of motivation is all about. It is about empowering the minds of women, helping us to become the best me, the best you that you can become. So today, God gave me a word to talk to you guys about relational balance. Well, what does that mean? What does that mean, Talisha? Relational balance. Relationships are supposed to be two ways, twofold. You give, you receive. They give, you receive. And it's supposed to constantly move and evolve into its greater. So many times we find ourselves, women, in relationships where one, we are either the giver and never on the receiving end, or two, they are always the giver and never on the receiving end, or vice versa. Those two transactions. So, in order for it to be a successful, uh, rich filled relationship, there has to be a balance on all parties involved in their relationship. When I speak about relationships, I'm not just talking about a relationship between a man and a woman, but I'm talking about every relationship that you have in your life, whether it's with a mother and a father, whether it's a relationship with an aunt and an uncle, a cousin, um, someone that you've been best friends with for since y'all were children. It when I speak of that, I'm talking about every relationship in your life. Sometimes, you guys, we have to stop and take a serious look at the relationships in our life and to see why that some of the relationships that we've either had in our life or that we are currently in our lives are not causing us to grow, are not causing us to move forward. Because think about it, a relationship, and I said relational currency. And when you think about currency, you talk about money because currency is always flowing in one direction to the next direction. It's constantly flowing. And that is how relationships are supposed to be. So if when you think about certain relationships in your life right now, are they moving you forward? Are they um, supporting you when you really need that support? Are you the one that's always being the giver and they are always being the taker? Are you the one that knows that you're being the best friend that you can be, but you know deep down on the inside that they're not being the best friend that they can be? You see, every relationship that we have in our life are supposed to pull out the greater that's on the inside of us. Our relationship with the Father is so important. And many of times when you don't have a relationship with Him, this is why you find yourself connected to people that simply are not in a relationship with you, but you are in a relationship with them. This is why you often hear women say, "Oh, I don't trust nobody," because they found themselves in a relationship with individuals that betrayed them. I'm here to tell you guys that if you really sit down and you think about your life and you think about some of the things that you have gone through, some of the brokenness that you have had to endure, it was because of you being in a relationship with an individual that appeared to be in relationship with you. Just because they say that they are your friend doesn't mean that they are your friend. Just because they are in your circle of friends doesn't mean that they're actually in your circle. Sometimes people are only connected to you relationally for selfish gain. It benefits them in some sort. When the benefiting factor, the beneficial factor should be two-way. It should be flowing just like currency. If you continue to take money out of your bank account, out of your savings account, and you never add to it, eventually you will deplete that account. And this is why you have so many people, marriages that have been depleted because more than one party gave and the other party just took. In order for anything to flourish, in order for your bank account to continue to grow, in order for your relationships to continue to grow, you have to have something that you are depositing, and you have to be in a position to where whatever you deposit is returned back to you. This is one reason why many of us tithe, because for one, the Father says to do it. This is why many of us invest to make our lives better. Because whatever you invest in, you deserve to have a return. You can't keep investing and not get a return. I want you guys to think about this. Really think seriously about the relationships in your life and the relationships that you have been in and why you allowed yourself to be connected to those people. And once you figure out and you see it, I want you to do better. I want you to do better because I want you to truly love you. And when you truly love you, you want what's best for you. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Everyday Conversations with a few minutes of motivation with your girl, Miss Get Up, Fix Up, Glow Up. It is definitely a movement, it is a ministry. Remember, if you take, if you constantly take too much money out of your checking account, savings account, IRA, or whatever account you have, and you never put it back, you will eventually deplete that account. The same way with relationship currency. You guys have a great day, and I want you to know that you are wonderfully and fearfully made, and I love each of you.